Hugh Hefner, a true American icon, created an empire that was unrivaled.
Although some of us bunnies may have gone rogue, it's because of the love and respect that we received from the man behind it all.
Because after all, we did learn from the best.
Relive the stories from the most prominent celebrity home in history.
What happens in the grotto stays in the grotto.
From those of us that lived it,
The employees that worked it,
And the guests who loved it.
And
The
mayhem continues.
Hey, I'm Brian Olea.
I'm Victoria Fuller.
Jennifer Pershing.
And we are here back with part 2 with Dr. Bryant Horowitz on Rogue Bunnies Mayhem. And if you listen to the first show, we were talking about, we had a black book, we have a certain menu, and how we could actually tell what the boss was feeling like for the day. So here's my trivia for you.
Okay.
If we looked in the black book, we could see a certain meal. And if he had that meal the night before, we know that he probably wasn't feeling well. Do you remember what it was?
Would that be the pot roast?
No. He only would order this when he wasn't feeling well. Let's see if he can do it.
Oh, it was the poached eggs.
There it is.
Yeah.
Poached eggs
Yeah.
over?
Mashed potatoes.
There it is.
Yeah.
Poached eggs
Yep.
over mashed potatoes.
That's
and
weird.
and we learned this, you know what I mean? Like if the chefs would come in, I'd come in, I'd look at
So
him
that
like,
means that he wasn't already feeling well?
yeah,
Or
he
he
wasn't,
wouldn't
right,
feel well
right. No,
after
he would,
he
no,
ate it?
no,
he wasn't
he
feeling
wasn't
well.
feeling well.
So
and
he
I
wanted
guess it was something
bland,
that
like-
probably is, because a lot of the menus,
Comfort food. Right?
yeah, comfort
Yeah,
food,
yeah.
but things that I guess that he'd been raised. Like all of us know, like
Right.
the way we were brought up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your mom made a certain thing, your dad made a certain thing. Hey, you're not feeling well, let me make this for you. And where it came from, poached eggs over mashed potatoes.
I
We
have a
knew he
question
wasn't
for
feeling
you.
good.
Why did he never eat with the guests except for the turkey leg on Thanksgiving and Christmas
I
Eve?
think eating for him was just a private time.
Yeah.
But then he would eat. He doesn't want to eat in front of everybody because I had all these. And then he'd have the turkey leg and
he would take one bite of the turkey leg for the picture.
Ah.
He didn't actually necessarily eat the whole meal.
He probably
Got
ate
it.
upstairs prior.
Yeah, he was a creature of habit for
Yeah.
what he would eat.
People,
so did he
people
eat by
had.
himself
but
all
he
the
ate,
time?
but he loved his freaking apple pie.
Oh,
Come on,
absolutely.
apple pie. all night.
Absolutely.
He'd eat desserts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but people had a theory that he was the king of his castle, and
Yeah.
when it was time to go down, even though it was mealtime, this was for him to sit at his seat and be admired and socialize. And
Yeah.
it wasn't time for him to eat. He ate in his own private time.
Yeah. And you don't want people taking pictures of you chomping down on food. and
No,
food
I
on your
figured
Except
that was
for the,
face.
that
except
was
for the
part of
turkey
it.
leg.
Except for the
Except for the
turkey
turkey
leg.
leg.
Yeah,
I
but that's like it's Thanksgiving and this is my table and I'm going to eat
Okay,
the, you
well
know?
that makes more sense.
I
But then,
mean-
so he ate alone. Was he ever with who would
No.
eat with him? And
Well, I guess late
mean-
night, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes with
how
one of the
interesting.
girls.
He
Yeah.
just, that was just his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Except
normally
for
when he had
went
it-
to restaurants, he ate.
Oh, wait a minute.
When he-
Remember when he was with Kimberly? Because you were there with me. When,
I was.
when-
I was
when-
there for the last few months of Kimberly.
Yeah, when Kimberly was there. I remember they used to both order
Yes.
meals at night,
Yes,
and they
they
both
did.
had their trays. That's when two butlers would go up.
Right.
One had the boss, one
Two
had Kimberly's.
soups? Or did she order
No,
her own
whatever her
things?
meal. No, because he did dinner at night.
Yes.
Okay.
That's when the dinner was night or whatever it was. And then I swear it was like a Denny's menu,
It
wasn't it?
really was.
And
Denny's.
I'll have a number 1. I'll have a number 7. I mean, that literally that's how it was called out. And
Yeah.
then, ma'am, Kimberly, I can't get that out
Miss
of me.
Kim.
It's just I can't.
It's a respect thing though.
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
is.
admirable.
It is absolutely. They would sit there and eat together. But I started thinking about this is our behind the scenes, what things were going on, and then, dude, all of a sudden we had cameras on us.
Yep. And it was not convenient.
You know, though, we're talking about getting some of the group from Girls Next Door, and they want to come on and talk about what that experience was like. But I want to talk about it like with us.
Okay.
Because, it was really cool that Kevin Burns came in and said, look, Hef has decided he wants to do this show, but look, you guys don't have to worry. We're not here to cast you in a bad light, but we need to see everything.
Right.
At the beginning, how did that make you feel?
It was a little intimidating. And it was like, wait, us? You want us to be part of this? Kevin actually told me one time that because the one night that there were no women around where we could be ourselves was Manly Night. And that's when Kevin Burns would come up. So
Sundays,
so Monday nights was just the guys. The girls actually were encouraged to not be around during that time, go shopping or do whatever. And so that's the days that I would play pranks on, especially Ray Anthony.
Ray Anthony.
So
All the way,
Ray.
can I tell you my favorite story?
Yes.
So, and this was, by the way, to bring this back around, Kevin Burns said that when I used to do this stuff, this is what gave him the idea that the staff have a good time here and that it would be really interesting to see the upstairs, downstairs. Now, he could have just been saying that to blow smoke up my ass and just, I don't know why he'd want to, but my favorite one was, it was Ray's birthday. It was right when that iconic issue of Rolling Stone came out with the shirtless Justin Timberlake. So Ray, his favorite cake was the banana bundt cake. So I, during that time, I cut the banana bundt cake in a cylinder to look like a penis, and I put it on one of the dinner plates, and I cut out the Rolling Stone picture because we had one in the pantry. So I cut out the Justin Timberlake Rolling Stone picture, and I put the penis-shaped cake right there in the crotch area, and I put 2 little grapes, and I put a little whipped cream on top and a candle. And then I took one of the mansion pads and I put a little word bubble that said, "Happy birthday, Ray, blow me, ... out." And I was pointing to the candle. Oh, and Christian and DeAndre were working with me that night. And I was like, okay, there's no girls here. I said, and obviously Ray sat right next to Hef.
Right to his right.
This seems
Right to
so
his right.
unlike you,
And
knowing
so-
you. This is hilarious.
But this was me and Ray. Ray would always call me boy. Fetch me my coffee, boy. So we would always have this. We would always have this back and forth because Ray is one of those guys, and I think they kind of showed this on the show, that he can dish it out, but he can take it.
Yeah,
I know. He was funny.
I said, I'm going to present this when Hef is down for Manly Night after they get their food. Because Manly Night was the only night where we actually took orders like from a menu.
So this wasn't like offensive to like girls being around because it was just the guys.
Right. So I didn't have to worry about fraternization rules.
Right.
And so I said, okay, DeAndre, you take the pictures. Christian, you come with me to present it. And they're like, no, we're going to get in trouble. I said, I'm the shift leader. I will take the blame for this. I'll take the hit. I guarantee you Hef is going to love it. Because he loves stuff like that. When I used to play pranks, when we used to get people with whipped cream pies and like pouring water on them, he wanted to be part of that.
He probably laughed so hard.
So they were like, okay, fine. So we go out there and I put it down and Hef sees it and he laughed so hard he almost fell out of his chair.
Aww.
And then he made all the guys get together with the Justin Timberlake cake and everybody had to take a picture with it in front of him.
And you know what's so cool? That's archived.
Yeah.
Those pictures, every
really?
single
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, of
every
course.
picture,
everything is.
every day of his life was archived. I mean, you guys had to take all the pictures of everything.
You couldn't walk
and
in
he
the
put a
front
scrapbook.
door without your
Yeah.
picture was taken here, your picture was taken here, and then when he came downstairs, he took a picture with every single person that was there. And then the next week you'd come and there's like a little folder, rubber
Envelope,
banded,
yep.
of
Oh, yeah,
all
yeah.
of your pictures,
All your pictures.
a copy of that. So I have so many pictures from just walking onto the property.
I'm just wondering if, somehow Justin can hear this show. I just want him to know that his balls are represented by grapes.
Grapes.
We're going to take
Absolutely.
a quick break. We're going to be right back. You are listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem.
Bye, bye, bye.
This is Jennifer Pershing, Miss March 2009 with exciting news. The Rogue Bunnies next drop is almost here, and we want to know, what's in your NFT wallet? Only 69, yes, you heard that right, 69 unique Ordinals NFTs will be dropped on October 23rd in an epic exclusive collection. This Ordinals Founders Drop features Victoria Fuller, with each Ordinals displaying a gold key, aka VIP status. Not only will you have invites to our in-real-life events and direct access to the Rogue Bunnies, you also receive a Series 1 Rare Pack free, $190 value. Want more details? Sign up for info at ordinals.roguebunnies.com. That's ordinals.roguebunnies.com. It's time for you to go rogue with us.
Welcome to the metaverse.
We're back with Dr. Bryant Horowitz. I don't love saying doctor. You know,
It's
that's
weird,
just
right?
So cool, right?
I like it. Every
He's
appointment I
that
have is a
smart.
doctor's appointment.
You know, so Girls Next Door, we got to have a lot of fun doing that. But before we go back to Girls Next Door, I just want, because I'm pointing out the doctor, they kind of owed that a little bit to Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not a little bit.
I was
mean,
going
a
to ask
lot.
you about
Yes.
that. Your first 2 years, right?
So, well, I mean, I worked from all of the schooling, right? So I started at community college at Santa Monica when I first started working at the mansion. And then I was working all through my undergrad, through master's. And even though I had to quit full-time for my PhD, I was still working there. And the great thing was I was at UCLA, which was literally down the street.
Yeah.
And in fact, my first quarter there, the Bunny House was still there. So I was parking my car at the Bunny House for the first quarter. And then Mary called me one day and said, you're not full-time anymore, so you can't park up there. So then I had to pay for parking at UCLA. But it was great because like Brian would call me and he'd be like, I have a 4 o'clock shift and I need it filled. And do you have class or are you doing something over there? Can you? And I was like, I'm literally 20 seconds away. Yeah, I'll come in.
That's awesome.
It was really cool.
So it was
great for me to have to fill in shifts at the last second when people are calling in sick.
Right.
Because you couldn't have a hole.
Right.
It's like, what are we going to do? And but we had a great schooling program through Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about. Everyone to be educated.
Yeah, well, and Hef and I got along on this because he, if people don't know, he actually got his college degree in psychology.
Oh.
So I talked to him about it a little bit.
Oh.
Now, I never went the clinical route because there was plenty of things at the mansion that I could have done dissertations on. I did the, I was doing... I was doing the research thing, but the nice thing about it is like working nights when, all you're doing is answering phones for 2 hours. That was my homework time. So I could work and go to school full time and I had plenty of time to write papers and do homework and things like that. And this is what paid for books. This is what paid for my apartment while I was in school. And so it was, it was the best of both worlds.
It's a nice life.
And your wife worked up there with you too.
Yes.
From time to time.
When we started dating, during the parties, there was an issue in the mid-2000s where people would stop the shuttle drivers because they didn't park on the property unless you were VIP. There was very limited space. So people would park at Century City or they'd park at UCLA, and they would have they would know where the shuttle routes were, and they would stop the shuttle drivers. Shuttle drivers made $100 a night, nothing big. So they would stop the shuttle drivers and then be like, here's $500, here's $1,000, let me on the bus. Because they would check them in at the parties and put the wristbands on them at the parking structure, but not at the mansion.
Yeah.
Once you got on the bus, that was it. So they would stop people halfway through. So we finally had to hire people to be shuttle riders that would dress up like they were party guests and do that. So I remember telling Brian, I was like, hey, I'm dating this girl. If it's okay with you, maybe we can get her either a job as a butler or as a shuttle rider. And this way she could keep tabs on me while I was at work. And I always joke around because you're friends with her. You're friends with her. If anything was ever going on, and I wouldn't have lasted 18, 19 years if there was stuff going on. So, but I said this way, if something ever happened, if I was messing around, these girls would tell her before I could.
I think it worked out best for me when we started doing that because we had done a show with Alan Loeb and I needed him to serve the boss that night. And it was New Year's Eve. And you know how hard it is to be away from your wife.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you tell your wife, guess what? I can't do New Year's Eve with you. Right? And I go, how about I hire her, dude? He goes, really? Yeah, I'll make her a butler.
Yeah.
You work that night right before midnight. I'm going to pull you out. You guys go do your kissy at midnight. I want to make sure you two together. And it became a thing. So it was great. So like when Jessica came up, you know, and she's doing the thing, they were all done. Everyone knew before midnight and everyone could couple up, So all the staff that was there that had their significant other there with them, they could be with them.
Yeah.
And it helped because then they would start wanting to work more parties. Then we'd come to Easter, we do all these other parties.
4th of July.
And and it is like they now get it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to tell your wife or your girlfriend or it's like I swear it's not like it is. Oh sure it's not. Then they come and see it and they're like wow. And
then
now they're
it's
part
really
of it.
not.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You know what is a funny story about that though? Now that you mentioned like New Year's Eve. So when I became a playmate, I was married to someone else. So my ex-husband. I only got to go up for one New Year's Eve party because every other party I worked somewhere they were having a Playboy party. And he was like, listen, go find Matt, the butler that like got me into the magazine. He's like, go kiss him at midnight. And I didn't know, like at that point, I didn't know that was like something that you're not supposed to do. So, I don't think anybody ever knew, but like he was like, yeah, like he got you into this. Like just go find him and kiss him at midnight. So I went and I like found him and it was like, rang midnight and I just like grabbed him, I kissed him. You know what I mean? And he was like, whoa. I was like, sorry. My husband told me to do it. So it's like
okay, so we're gonna have to reprimand him now.
Retroactively.
Once you go up there, you just realize everyone who was working there was working there. The people who went up as guests were guests. They're just really it just was
There
such
wasn't shenanigans like that.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
No.
even I brought my dad up one time. I brought my mom up one time for like dinner, and they were like, wow, this is just like everyone's just having dinner and we're just going to watch a movie. I'm like, yeah, it's not like
Yeah, it's not what you think.
crazy. Like the parties are crazy, but I wouldn't bring you up here for a party with like painted ladies and stuff. Like this is just a residence.
People used to think we walked in the door and it was just like boobs in your face. And most of the days it was just like walking up that hill to get to the mansion, clocking in, and then it's like, all right.
On Tuesdays, though, we did topless tanning Tuesdays, so we would go up and just be like in the grotto. And we were always topless in the grotto too, but we would come into the pantry to get our drinks. Then we would go in the grotto. So we weren't just running around the mansion topless.
No, but people thought it was like, oh, you're working an 8-hour shift. You know, you clock
gotta
in at
see a
2 and
boob
there's
in there
boobs. You
somewhere.
clock in at 10 and they're still there, you know.
And let's clear the air. Where when the girls were actually doing topless or full on nude behind the pool in the deep end, what was blocking the window?
Well, there was...
You had that big redwood tree there.
Yeah, that giant tree.
I was going to say there's a tree there.
And our window was really little.
Yeah, no, but you couldn't
above the black
see
book,
anything.
You couldn't.
Nothing. And
see
no
anything.
one would be standing there in the med room
From our
looking out.
perspective, like we felt completely comfortable being up there, even if we weren't fully clothed, because everyone was so professional all the time.
And like everybody's seen it. It's like
I mean, it's like how many boobs can you like? There's Playboys everywhere.
Okay, that was always funny.
Yeah.
Right, Brian?
Yes,
No,
we had
when
to
you
have them
girls
out.
would come into the butler's pantry and you'd have your issue. Oh my God, it finally came out. Look, check it out.
Yeah.
And you're going, this is really happening right now.
Look at me naked.
I'm not saying that it never happened. I mean, there were people that had just gotten their boobs done. They're like, touch them. Did they feel real? And I'm like, this is part. I was asked. I remember coming into work one day, coming from school or whatever, and here's Brian at the sink scrubbing dildos.
Oh, gosh.
scrubbing dildos.
I'm just going to hand that right over to you. Go ahead.
So basically,
Hand it
again,
right over.
most days you come into work and it's just you get into your butler outfit, change downstairs, come in and look in the black book to see what's going on. So you're caught up on what's going on at the time, and there's really nothing going on when you start. I walk in one day and Brian's at the sink scrubbing dildos. And I start laughing and I was like, well, this is unusual. And he's like, Mary called me and there were some down in storage and she said that they needed to be cleaned.
Well, yeah, because we were going through stuff and I'm like, hey, Mary, I found a bunch of these old dildos. She'll bring them up, honey. And I bring them up and I'm like, look, they're all old and you know what I mean? And some were like
So
melty
it's not
and
throw them away by new.
I
it's
wanted to throw them away because I
clean
was
them.
cleaning
Yeah.
cabinets out.
I mean, there's probably some new
She's showing
models.
them to the boss.
Okay.
I get the call and she's all right, Hef says wash him and put him back behind his because you remember he had that little secret trap door behind his headboard?
Yes.
And I'm like, you're kidding me.
So he's scrubbing them. The other butlers in the
turning
pantry
bright
aren't
red
paying any attention. And I start laughing at him. I'm like, well, that sucks that you got this job. And he's like, oh no, you're doing this too. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, I'm not doing this by myself. He's like, I'm the boss. So you're doing this too. So we both were there right as soon as I started my shift. We were both scrubbing dildos. We actually, and then Elaine came in and took a picture of us.
Yeah.
Of course.
So Elaine Lodge, who is Hef's
Yep.
personal photographer.
Yes. So I actually still have one of the photos of you and I holding up the dildos.
Dude, we got to get those.
I'll find
Oh my
them.
gosh,
I'll
we
find
gotta
them.
those out.
We hand washed them. I don't know if they're
Who's the girl
dishwasher
on the
safe.
receiving end that maybe got one of these dildos that maybe weren't really washed well?
Nope, they were squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean, definitely.
I know, but they're
we
all
were
touched
thorough.
to get into the box. And
This
they're
is
like,
so not like COVID protocol
no,
right now.
Like I don't do not having the wrapper stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I do remember, speaking of dildos, I remember one time, because, we all were on 24/7, right? Our phones, we live with them. People always say, hey, and I go, just trust me, it's by habit.
Yep.
The phone is right by my head.
Yep.
I remember one time, it was like, literally, I was at a friend's house and middle of the night, and it might have been you calling me. Someone just said, hey, the boss wants a new, remember we had those really cool magic wand vibrators?
Yes.
I
The
had the
Hitachi
key.
ones, yeah.
The Hitachis. And I had the key.
Yep.
It was like freaking 3:34 in the morning. And I'm like, I'll be right down. and literally had to go all the way to the mansion, go downstairs, unlock it, bring it out, hand it to him. And I remember a friend of mine just going, nobody has this job. And I guess when we look back at it, we're like, I guess that was different.
Yeah. Yeah.
The washing, the taking down from the.
Hey, at least we weren't fluffers.
Yeah, you weren't fluffing it well.
So because of that, though, we joke and we did a lot of stuff that was probably out of the ordinary for anybody else's job.
Yeah.
But we did become such hardcore family because we spent all our holidays together. We talk about all that. And when like birthdays would come around, we would all celebrate it. Everyone knew. It's like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday. And I believe you have a story of how you were celebrating.
Yeah, well, my birthday is a little bit unusual. My birthday is Halloween. Working at the mansion is amazing. A lot of times people are recalling their 21st birthday. That's when you become an adult, right? That's when things happen. Where were you? What were you doing when you turned 21? Well, the amazing thing about that for me is that I turned 21. My birthday was a Sunday. But we always had the Halloween parties at the mansion the Saturday before Halloween, which meant that my 21st birthday was when we turned from Saturday to Sunday at midnight. I normally was working the parties just as a butler. I'd either do half or I would go around and make sure some of the other party butlers were doing their jobs. And then at this time, Elaine asked if she could use me as a celebrity spotter. So I would have to find the celebrities, and then I'd have to find Victoria, or I have to find Jen, and I'd be like, can you take a picture with Ben Affleck? Can you take a picture with so-and-so? Or we'd have to find two celebrities together, and a lot of times they wouldn't know. They would have somebody with them that we didn't know their name, so I had to write down the names and things like that. So this party was the first one that I got to work as the celebrity spotter, and so I actually got to wear a costume to the party. I wore a zoot suit because I used to go swing dancing back in the Neo Swing days at the late 90s.
Totally remember.
So I wore a zoot suit with Gumby suspenders.
You went swing dancing?
Uh-huh.
This is a conversation we have to have another time.
Absolutely.
I learned something new about you. I didn't think I was going to do that.
I am not very...
Mighty Mighty Boss Tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoot Suit Riot, Big Vet Voodoo Daddy, Cherry Poppin' Daddies, yeah.
Wow.
Brian Setzer. So I was wearing one of my outfits that I would use to go swing dancing, and I was a zoot suit guy. At midnight of the party, Hef's girlfriends at the time, it was Sandy, Mandy, and Brandy.
Yeah,
and Jessica.
And Jessica. But it was mainly Sandy, Mandy, and Brandy.
I know.
And they stopped the DJ, and I had no idea this was happening. So right when I turned 21. They stopped the party and they said, hey, it's Bryant the Butler's 21st birthday, and we want everybody in the tent to sing happy birthday. There's 1,000 people there.
Aww.
All 1,000 people were singing happy birthday to me.
I was there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
freaking cool, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's
Wow.
a core memory.
It is definitely.
Playboy Mansion.
We need pictures.
Everyone singing to you from the. That's awesome, dude.
There's so many stories that are popping in my head.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, you got to come back.
Yeah.
You got to come back.
Yep.
You gotta wait for me though.
No, absolutely. Jen's got to come back into town. You know what I mean? But you got to come back. I've missed you, and thanks for coming on.
Of
dude.
course.
So
No, this
cool,
is
dude.
fun.
All right, everybody.
You won't regret it.
Thank you once again, Dr. Bryant Horowitz.
That's me.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And give my best to Jessica and your boy. And dude, he's growing.
Dude, middle school. He just started
Blowing
middle
my
school.
mind. Blowing my
Yeah.
Yeah, I could go on and on and on. I'm looking at the time. I know you guys
Yeah.
got to get out of here.
Yep.
I'm Brian Olea,
I'm Victoria Fuller.
Jennifer Pershing.
and you've been listening to Rogue Bunnies Mayhem and
The Mayhem continues.